Hey everybody, welcome back again to another video. So, we got a bunch of new information about Halo for this campaign, including what's the status on campaign co-op, when is it exactly coming after Season 1 got extended. Let's start with that first. In an interview with Joe Stan from Eurogamer, yeah, at the time we talked about campaign co-op in Forge, I said our goal is to ship co-op in Season 2 and Forge in Season 3. Yes, we are extending Season 1, so our goal still remains what I said before, which is ship co-op with Season 2 and Fortress Season 3, but those remain goals. Anyway, those remain targets. We can't commit to any hard dates right now, because as we're seeing with this multiplayer beta, other things might move on the priority stack. As it turns out, our progression system just isn't working the way that we intended to. So we need to move to some of those bigger rocks I talked about sooner. Then we as a team will make those decisions and will clearly communicate to our fans why we're doing things. To be clear, we haven't made any decisions along those lines yet. There are still 48 hours into our beta, but we are listening. We are genuinely listening and learning. And we're not just going to stick to a plan that if we learn that there are other things that are more important priorities. So that's where we are as a team now. I often say to the team, look, it was really challenging year that we just went through. A lot of hard work, and I think in the coming years it's going to be filled with at least as much, if not more, good hard work for the team as we really stand up to this live service. Really make good on our promises to fans. Well, the good news, now here's the good news. The campaign co-op has been playable for some time. It's playable, but the goal we want to make it a great experience. They don't want to just ship a co-op that barely works. They want to ship a campaign that's stable, that's robust, and has the features the player expects. We're also doing some other things that we haven't talked about yet. That really make me up with your friends and that you're jumping into the game. Good, just not for campaign, but even better for multiplayer. So when it comes to shipping co-op, we have a lot of other things that kind of branches off that certain trunk of campaign co-op we think as an opportunity to improve the whole game. But yeah, I mean, it is a challenge. You played the campaign. It's the most expensive world we ever made. A lot of player choice about how to address certain missions. It's just a much bigger problem set when it comes to playing together with your friends. And we're just going to take the time to get it right. But the good news is that work is progressing. They're making really good progress, and co-op is as fun as to play as ever been, and maybe even more so in this new style of game that we made. Okay, that's actually it for the whole campaign co-op. Let's come to actual preview from Jeff Grubb of VentureBeat. Oh, and here's DLC first, I forgot. In terms of Halo Infinite being a live game, they've all seen the campaign's plural hint. Do you plan to expand the story meaningful DLC? How will it actually work? Is it more of the ring going to be made available? I'd love to know what the vision is. Well, today, unfortunately, I can say nothing about any of that. But I will say that today Halo, this new ring you find yourself on, it's known in the Halo universe to be the most mysterious of all of them. It has millions of years of secrets. It's certainly a really rich place to send new stories. We're eager to explore those in the future, but I cannot say anything about that today. So it sounds like that it's going to be DLC is going to be set on Zeta Halo. I guess that kind of makes sense. So maybe for campaign DLC, we're going to be playing as Chief as well, or our multiplayer Spartans. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, moving on. Here we go. Now the previews. I'm playing Halo Infinite, or at least I'm trying to. My Xbox is broken and keeps crashing while I wait for the replacement to arrive. I'm playing as much Infinite as I can, and what I found so far is that this game feels like a strong foundation for a new kind of Halo that still remains true to what the series always was. And while it is obviously not an open world adventure, it's one that feels closer to latest Zelda than Far Cry, and that's a good thing. He's right about that. If you have a Nintendo Switch on with you, go play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I highly recommend it. It is a damn good game. It was worthy of that Game of the Year award it got. Anyway, at the same time, this is a Halo where Master Chief can capture base, so it's not entirely unlike Far Cry, but the reason I keep getting Breath of the Wild vibes is due to two key factors for me. For one, Halo's developers have always treated it as a sandbox, and two, as Breath of the Wild Legend of Zelda, so Halo Infinite is the Halo Combat Evolved. When it comes to that first point, I'm happy to report the campaign is still a Halo-ass Halo game. The multiplayer launched earlier this week is a very much familiar Halo throwback. Go play the multiplayer, it's really fun, as I said before. The campaign builds something new on top of Halo's gameplay. Alright, moving on. He's still early on in the game. I haven't played past what I'm allowed to talk about for this preview. That means I cannot break embargo and go to Xbox GL, but it also means I don't know if Thirsty ends up delivering on the potential for this game, but I'm hopeful that it does. Even if the game doesn't nail every idea in the end, though, the underlying concept is strong. It does feel like what I always imagined Halo was before I ever played the original. Seeing the magazines in 1999 and 2000, I figured Combat evolves this big explorable world, and this game delivers on those assumptions to me. This reminiscent of the way that Breath of the Wild delivered on the promise of the original Legend of Zelda, and again, Infinite feels a lot like a massive Zelda game. It even has dungeon-like structures. Maybe those early impressions will fall apart as I get further in the game, but for now I'm excited. I cannot wait for my new Xbox gear so I can play through the game. That's all I want to do right now, and I hope to bring you my final thoughts on Halo Infinite when it launches on December 7th. Or not 7th, but 8th. Okay, before we get to the talk, what they've learned from the year on development, we have some news about how the campaign, how in terms of difficulty, what it's made for. This one, and it's an interesting idea. Here we go. In an interview with GameSpot, traditionally Halo's always been dealt in the heroic difficulty, as we did the same for 4 and 5. Said Halo Infinite's creative director Stephen Dyke. I'm not sure if I said that right. So usually we look at heroic. We're tuning everything here. Everything is tuned down a bit for normal, easy, and scaled up a little middle fledged. This time, however, we spend much more time on normal, expecting new players to come in. Which that kind of makes sense. So, because essentially this is a spiritual reboot for the series. Dyke went on to explain this doesn't mean that heroic legendary aren't hard, but the studio did spend more time on legendary but normal difficulty with new players in the series in mind, seeing that the team didn't want them to be quote-unquote hit with a wall from a gameplay standpoint. So one of the philosophies we had is the players always right, or the game says yes. That continues. If the players want to use something or a certain type of weapon, while certain weapons are universal, we're never going to say, no, you're just wrong, you cannot do that. Now let's go on to what the team had to say about what they've learned, what they learned with the 1 year development. Associate Creative Director Paul Crocker told VGC that the additional year of development gave the team the time to play through the game completely multiple times, have a good think about where the game stood and where it could make things even better. In terms of specifics, Crocker said the team spent the additional time making sure the grapple shoot was, and I quote, as fun as it possible can be, while the team also added more tutorial elements to help people get up to speed at the start. Makes sense, because they're expecting this game to introduce a lot of newcomers to the franchise. I know somebody who this is going to be his first Halo game, so this would be good for it. So I'm sure things like this is new, good to him. So anyway, final thing. Additionally, 343 doubled down on polishing the Halo Infinite boss encounters. They now have introductions where only some of them did. The story has added a few more moments. So content that was going to be cut are added back then? That's interesting. Crocker added while the villain got more screen time and his boss fight was extended. Ooh, so boss fight with Estrom or Atriox. Ooh, that sounds good. Character design Stephen Dyke said that they were careful to not itch in territory of wanting to simply add more, but instead the team added very selectively. We were able to go back and adjust for pacing and flow, so everything didn't feel the same and big moments felt like big moments while we cleared some space before them. Campaign art lead Justin Dyke said, meanwhile, expected some of the additional development time used to improve the game's visuals, which were initially criticized. Yeah. On the visuals, we knew we were not ready last year when we showed, but we needed to be there for Xbox. We needed to show the game and get people excited. We already had a long list of things we needed to improve and complete, and we were fortunate enough to get that time from Microsoft and Xbox to finish those things and improve those things, Dinge said. Yeah, that's, man, that was a long reading. So what do I think of everything? Wow, all this is music to my ears, especially the comparison to Breath of the Wild, because when I first got my Switch and got Breath of the Wild, that game was purely amazing. It really was. So that's music to my ears. With that comparison by Jeff Grubb essentially saying that this is probably Halo's Breath of the Wild. That is brilliant. That is music to my ears. And based on the other previews I've seen, it sounds like this campaign could be the best the franchise has ever seen, especially in the last decade. So, Yeah, Halo has exactly had the best hasn't exactly been the best in the last 10 years, but with Infinite, essentially trying to reboot the whole series pretty much, which I think it's going to do very well based on when I played in the flight. So, oh, look, the skirmishers again. So, yeah, like I am very very excited for Halo Infinite. So, and just less than 3 weeks left. We're almost there. They're almost there. We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the last few minutes of this campaign gameplay from VentureBeat. And until next time, and if there's like more information to come out, because like the media got to play like 4 missions of the game. So if any new significant information comes from, because I'm sure there's going to be more. So because they got to play the first 4 missions, I'll keep you guys updated and all that. But other than that, that's going to be it for this video. So what do you think of all this? Like, it's pretty interesting that for the first time it's focused toward normal now, in terms of just of it being designed. Like, that is very interesting. Because as they said, usually it's heroic, like they did with 4 and 5. But I guess with this game, they're aiming to introduce new people to Halo for the first time. It makes a lot of sense that they did that. So just look at how huge just this section is. Like, wow. So again, that's it for this video. So what do you guys think? Hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.